Sonya?
Sonya Blade.
Sonya?
Sonya. I guess
Who
it's
says Sonya?
people from West Virginia, apparently.
Yeah, you are the first person I've heard pronounce it that way.
Sonya Blade. Actually, it makes sense, but yeah, every girl I've known named that, I called Sonya, and she called herself Sonya.
Did they spell it with a J?
No, same spelling.
Anyways,
so, I guess technically I'm the game authority, but I think you've played more Mortal Kombat than I have.
No, I don't think I played more than you. I think I'm just better than you at
Yeah,
Mortal
that's
Kombat.
true, yeah. I
So
mean,
it looks like I played more.
my peak Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat 2, where
I enjoyed that one.
you
Yeah.
know, you just what was the main guy? Liu Kang, just taking care of business.
Wow, that's really Liu Kang taking care of. That's like
Yeah.
Liu Kang was
ease
the
guy.
kid's character.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
how you spam
Yeah,
it.
you
Like you
ju-
just sit and
You
spam
just
buttons.
kicked across and then uppercut, and
Yeah.
then that
Throw some
bicycle.
fireballs if you
If
need
things
to.
get crazy, you bicycle kick. That was about as far as I got with that.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
That's the only character I ever played.
Really?
Yeah.
Liu Kang also.
Well, no,
weird.
Sub-Zero is my favorite character, and I
Why do I think Liu Kang is the wrong name?
Well,
What's
there's-
the name of the old, like the boss?
Shang Tsung
Shang
was the
Tsung.
boss.
Okay, yeah, so it was Liu Kang. I haven't played since.
yeah, Sub-Zero is
Long.
hands down my favorite. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
like-
he's the troll of
yeah.
everybody in there.
So Mortal Kombat 10's coming out, or X, or Cross, however you want to say it. Mortal Kombat 10, I believe, is what they're calling it. Are you excited?
Yeah, I think so. I also think it's definitely 10. Since Super Bowls next year, I think, are going to stop using Roman numerals. Mortal Kombat has taken on that mantle to ensure they remain
Okay.
in Western
Well, that's
civilization.
good.
So I think the X is definitely for 10.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty damn cool. Like, oh God, the worst thing about this is it makes me kind of wish I had my last job, because at that job there were times where you'd have a bunch of guys in one room with nothing to do for a very long period, and you could jam out on some Mortal Kombat.
Well, now you got online. You can.
That's not what kind of game this is, though.
Yeah.
Like, Mortal Kombat is the glory days of in-room multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I feel,
Just talking shit and
Well, like-
kicking ass.
yeah, exactly. Like, you can dominate someone, then bust out a fatality and just talk mad shit to them. And everything about that is exciting. And now I have to admit to myself that, like, I'm in my 30s and have a grown-up job, and I might even be living a grown-up life. So I want to play this. Absolutely, yes, and I will, but should I buy it? Probably not.
I mean, they've made the previous one so I think this one isn't going to be as revolutionary as the previous one, where they ended up showing having 3 hours of movie time. You know what I'm talking about? Where you played through the whole
cutscenes.
Yeah, there's
that awful story mode with 5-minute long unskippable cutscenes.
I love
that
it.
Must replay when you lose,
No,
and
I-
you will repeatedly.
I love it. I thought it was
Oh,
awesome.
God,
I mean,
no.
I like Mortal Kombat movies, so that gives you.
Dude, the first one, yeah, we were 15. Like, that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Well, I'm still into it.
The
So I
second
like
one, no.
I like the movie part, rather than just have a little.
So did you watch the Mortal Kombat YouTube series?
I haven't.
What?
Was
Were
it
you
good?
aware that
No.
there was okay. So I forgot the guy who directed its name, but he was by profession a fight choreographer, I believe. And he decided, God, I wish I remembered his name. He decided to do a gritty Mortal Kombat reboot. And initially, I think the plan was to shoot for studio syndication, to make it a TV show or a movie. And instead it turned into maybe a 10-episode YouTube series on
man.
Machinima called Mortal Kombat. I forget.
Well, they just got 10 more views because
Yeah.
I'm probably going to watch all those.
Yeah, if you look up Mortal Kombat Machinima, it should get you to the series.
Yeah, nice. No, I like the movies. I think this is rather than be because they're kind of treating it's the new hotness, but I feel like it's going to be a lot like the previous one, and then with brutalities and stuff added. But I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm glad that they went away from the 3D shifting, but you know, where you could
Yeah.
go sideways.
Is there a game that's done that well?
Tekken.
Tekken,
No, I
and
wouldn't say
You could
Tekken's that well.
sidestep, although no one was gonna sidestep.
Virtua Fighter.
I'm sorry, what?
Virtua Fighter.
I'm sorry, no one played that.
Virtua Fighter. You're talking
We
about
don't-
the one in the arcade
the
from
the
It
Sega
was
90s.
also on Sega.
Yeah, I think they
Saturn and stuff.
actually.
It was good.
I think they released Virtua Fighter games up through the last console generation. Like it didn't
Mhm.
go away.
You know, all they had to do was put backdrop of the moon there, and it would have made sense, I think, because everything was like the gravity was half.
Right. Well, I mean, it
FR.
was supposed to be like so you're more technically sound. I don't know. I always liked Virtua Fighter. It was my like I didn't like Tekken. I liked Virtua Fighter. Like it was always my thing.
Really, I was more into Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom is good.
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter had Virtua Fighter versus. Oh man, I can't remember, but it was
Exactly. So it must not have been that good.
It was good. I liked it, but yeah, Mortal Kombat is my second favorite series. Like I really like Virtua Fighter. Mortal Kombat obviously has better story, which I guess doesn't matter if it's a fighting game, but I dig it, and I'm glad that they put in the movies. Like you can find all the clips put together now, so you just watch it like it's a movie.
Why would any person do that to themselves?
Because
It was so stupid.
it's world building, and it like I like it.
World building in Mortal Kombat is the person next to you that you're owning, and
Right,
you're just
but you
talking
just
shit.
talked about how we're adults and we don't have that, so this replaces it a little bit.
No, not at all. Like
It's
if you're
ultimately a fighter game for playing against your friends. Is what you're
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
And if you're talking about the story mode in Mortal Kombat 9, the last one released as Mortal Kombat,
right.
those were terrible.
I loved them.
Oh, dude,
They're
no.
like CSI Miami awesome. They're
Mm.
super cheesy.
So it's just you think that they were like, hey, let's make something that everyone hates, and then force them to rewatch it for 5 minutes at
Yeah.
a time.
Loved it. Super
Ah.
cheesy. Like
Then well played, NetherRealm Studios.
yeah, I mean it's for me. I mean if it's just for me, I still got what I wanted because they're doing it again this time. So
Are they really another? I mean,
well, that's why I wanted to show you the Nick Cage one because like you see how they're talking and how like the daughter's like, well, Sonya Blade's daughter, Casey Cage yeah, is that her name?
sure.
Yeah, Casey Cage.
I'm not familiar with that character.
She's new.
I'll be introduced to her.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you'll hear the like how they're going through a divorce and how she's the daughter of a broken up household and
Yeah.
how she
Oh my God.
slays people with her guns.
That's good.
Yeah. See.
That's not anything I'm interested in here.
Yeah.
Totally excited for it. Maybe they fall back in love with each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound even better? Or that one will be required to kill the other,
Yeah.
and depending on no, I guess the last Mortal Kombat story mode was one big story mode.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was the ultimate tutorial to the game. If you could beat that, you were awesome at Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like in the
But
first one he was courting her, like Sonya. And now he's apparently made a baby.
Who's that? Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
And the daughter is who again? She's a new character, right?
She's their daughter, yeah. Casey Cage, I think
Oh.
is what they said her name is.
I
But-
think it'd be a better story if he was denying that he was the father, like to the point where he hooks up with her. He's like, I'm not the father.
Yeah, don't worry, we're cool. It's totally cool. But
Yeah.
she's like doing what is it called, like shadow kick or whatever. Like she's using his moves. Like, oh, it's no big deal.
lobbing green fireballs
Yeah.
underhanded and punching people
Where'd
in
you
the
learn that?
balls.
It's like it just happened. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. I think we've just expanded the universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were really good at that. So, but they have like 4 or 5 new characters. They like there's a YouTube video up for like each character and their moves and things. So
Mhm.
they're really.
I also like how they have a video on YouTube called the family video.
yeah, for
'Cause
like
it sounds like it's like the family friendly
right
version of Mortal Kombat.
And then you see someone getting their skull bashed
Yeah.
in and eyes shot out.
Oh, I get it.
And the Here's Johnny. I don't know how I feel about Here's Johnny.
If it's
If it brings The Shining back, like maybe I need to go watch The Shining again
yeah.
because I'm just not prepared for that yet. I think references for reference sake are often failures.
Yeah. So most of the videos are ending with Goro being pre-order only. How do you feel
Mm.
about that in general of the pre-order thing?
I think pre-orders are safe from a larger company and an established franchise like this one, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't pre-order a game if it wasn't a major
Right. It's
a
a
major game.
pre-existing IP.
Yeah.
So it was a new IP. I don't know. I don't. Hopefully, there's another way to get Goro, but I don't like that they're like.
Oh, if there's
Offering
not
as a
another
free-
way to get Goro, that's terrible.
Yeah. I don't like.
It'll be a few months out. It seems
Yeah,
like
it'll
most
eventually be for
pre-order
sale.
DLC comes a few months after release. Everybody gets a taste.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because they are established, I don't think that they. I don't know. It doesn't fit their style. Like, oh, buy a way to get the coolest thing. I mean, of course, he'll be terrible. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say every other playable iteration of Goro was just
yeah, he's just gonna.
unplayable.
Yeah, like
so
you just want to give people hugs all the time. I guess that's like your thing. But
yeah, friend.
yeah, there is a character I like that has two. It's two characters. Like there's a girl on a big guy's shoulder, and I think that'll be an interesting dynamic to the gameplay. I mean, it's probably it's
Is
all
it
the
like Chinese acrobats?
kinda, I guess, but
I haven't
I
seen
guess
that
the
one.
little guy will be more like when he does a ranged ability, he'll probably throw the little guy.
Yeah, think of
Mhm.
Quasimodo from Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame with what's his name from Lord of the Rings?
Frodo.
No, the little
Samwise?
skinny guy.
Oh, Schmeagol.
Schmeagol, with Schmeagol riding on his back. Quasimodo with Schmeagol as
But he'll be-
actually the Patriots player Rob Gronkowski on Conan O'Brien's show said,
Conan
"Well, that's
O'Brien.
that's his life coach."
Interesting.
So
yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, but he looks like he's Goro size, so that'd be fun. Put them two up against each other.
yeah, but then how do the fatalities work, right? Like each player gets fatalities where they get to brutally and sometimes comically shred somebody, and in this case, there will be a survivor, unless they do something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, fatality. Like, no, I'm
mean,
just
they-
gonna get myself another ogre to ride around on.
yeah. I mean, like they make each fatality specific to the person they're killing to a point because they have to like cut their heads open and stuff. So they have to take the time to put the animation as they might as well throw the second. I mean, that'd be the coolest thing. Just have each character do a fatality against those two characters just to see how they're different, or if they are different.
Yeah, or just I don't know. Maybe only the little guy gets his head
Yeah.
cut into 3 pieces by Kitana's fans, and that leaves the big guy to wander the countryside listless.
So what else does this game do? Is there anything else that it introduces that's new?
No,
compared to-
well, kind of. Like, there's backgrounds that you can interact with more. So, like, the one that I've seen a lot of is like they're on a dock and then a body will fly up in the air, and you can, if you do it fast enough, you can grab the body and throw it at the person. So there'll be stuff like that. You can grab things from the crowd and attack each other with.
Do they do the thing where you can crash through the floor and land in a different map?
I don't.
Any of that?
I hope so.
I love that stuff. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game that did that, and I always loved
Mhm.
it. But I don't think I've seen a video of that yet. They're bringing back Bone Breaks, which I think they got rid. No, they still had them in the last one.
Yeah, I thought Bone Breakers. I thought were introduced in the last one.
Oh,
I
what?
thought.
Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it was. Okay, so yeah, Bone Breakers are coming back. I don't
And
know.
those are excellent. Those are good tide turning super.
Yeah, it
moves
gives you
where-
the fatality animation mid game kind
Yeah.
of thing, so that's kind of cool.
And for some of the characters in the last one, their fatalities were kind of cartoonish and funny, and the Bone Breaker gave you some deep, unsettling violence. Which, I mean, the fatalities are gross, but there's that generic.
Yeah, they're
like-
comic to
yeah.
it. Yeah, I wonder if that's like to get a better rating. Like, oh, but if it's funny, it's okay. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I wonder.
but no,
I think this one looks like it's going back to, oh God, what is this?
yeah, I hope so. I mean, yeah, like it all looks gruesome, which is the previous one had some of that, but I think that this is going to go back to its roots a little bit. I don't know. It looks like it's like they actually have taken everything that's worked and put it together for this one. And I like the crypt thing where you unlock, like you have to like spin your coins to go unlock things. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Like where you like went through the crypt, you can find like art and stuff like that, or
Oh, like a little puzzle game mode. That was on the handheld version, right?
there was one, like that was on a couple of other ones, but yeah, like where you just like walk through a crypt and unlock different things, and like you get alternate skins and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I like. I don't
Wouldn't
know.
you rather pay for alternate skins?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because
What if they include a pimp
You have to
suit?
support the company somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and let them know I'm leads at the same time.
there
Exactly.
you go.
Uh,
$60 for more Mortal Kombat though is
I mean, you could argue that you'll get more than 60. It has infinite gameplay.
no, that's true. If you are younger than, I don't know, like it's not that I want to build a time machine and go back to 1982 so we could take state, but this would be the game where like, man, I wish I had an excuse to be sitting on a couch with my buddies playing games.
Yeah, like you want to have a sick day, like tell your mom that you can't go to school today, and like,
Yeah, just jam out.
yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to everything I've seen. I like the movie sequences, despite how much you guys don't like them. I love them. I dig them. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think some pre-fight intro is fine, but if they make us watch a 2-hour, just you can't even call it phoned in. Like, I feel
It's
like
awesome. What are you talking about?
I feel like they had the programmers work as voice actors because they're
Totally
just
cool
like,
with that. I loved
Mm.
it, so I can't really say anything bad about
yeah,
it.
like I like when people read lines to me,
Yeah.
and an animated character
Yeah.
moves their mouth.
And then you like get to see how everyone's related, rather than just see rather than know they have beef, you get to see that they have beef.
Well, how about two characters that are friends
Yeah, they
in the story,
Yeah.
and then they have to kill each other?
That don't happen. Doesn't happen in the story conveniently enough. Like they'll, like Sonya, like when Sonya and Johnny Cage fought each other, it was because he was trying to talk to her, and she's like, leave me alone, and then like she's like, fine, we can fight over it, and he's like, okay, and like that's how that went down. So they don't. It's not always like it's not like they fight in the tournament in the movie. It's like they're just walking around and like have random encounters.
They're out shopping for clothes for their child,
Right, stuff like that.
and they get into an argument.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, bone breakers.
Right. I just want an extra slice of cheese.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah, exactly. It begins in IKEA.
Yeah. I mean, like, they still did that. Like, as soon as, like, they would decide to fight, they would still go to the fight scene, which is awesome.
Well, sure, something has to
And-
cue in the
Yeah.
player, like,
Yeah.
now is your chance.
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes of garbage. Start mashing buttons.
I love it. I mean, it's more content. Like, you're still, like, would you rather not exist at all?
Oh, man. Content for content's sake. As a dude who prefers open world games, which is filled with content for content's sake, it's still a mess. Like, it's still bad. Like,
No, I'm
I
down for
hate
it.
the fact that I buy into games that are just filled with padding. Like, hey, play for 60 hours before you start the story. That's fine, but damn it, I bought into it.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. Like, it doesn't take, it's not like they got rid of things to add this, so I'm okay with it.
How about if you could just skip all the cutscenes?
Yeah, but skip.
Is that okay then?
Yeah, that's fine. No,
Skippable
I think
cutscenes sign me up, especially if you have to redo it. There's like a Shao
Yeah.
Kahn fight in Mortal Kombat 9 that is absolutely impossible. There, you have to spam one move in one sequence, or you are not going to win. And there's like a 4-minute cinematic before the fight. And
Every time.
yes, every time, unskippable, multiple minutes. And that
unskippable
is
yeah.
not okay.
No, I agree.
It's
Unskippable
more content.
unskippable movies are the worst thing. Like they're just unexcused. There's no way anyone could talk to me like, well, we made it unskippable because blah. It's like no, stop. Like everything's like we don't want the player to feel like they missed something. It's like, what if the player wants to miss something? Like it's unexcusable. I hate.
Well, how about if they're specifically trying to control your emotions? So, say for example, have you ever seen this movie called Jerry with Matt Damon?
I have not.
All right. So this movie, he and his brother go out hiking on some trail in Arizona. Right. They take a wrong turn, and they get lost in the desert. And like legitimately lost. They have no idea which direction to go. So they just pick a direction and start walking. Right. And
I would not do that in Arizona.
there are shots in this movie where it's just a 10-minute shot of them walking. I'm not even exaggerating. 10 minutes. There's no talking. They're just walking in silence, and as strange as it is to see that, and probably ineffective, their intention, the filmmaker's intentions there was to put you into the mindset of the characters, right?
Did they
So-
deliver on that by doing it? Like, was it well executed, or was it just?
Well, the difference is I have a stop button. You know what I mean? There's an X in the top corner of my screen.
Yeah, you can fast forward or
Yeah.
You didn't dump $60 on
yeah.
a game that now you're stuck.
Exactly. But perhaps the unskippable cutscene is a way to make you feel the character's frustration.
Yeah. You can never defeat me, Raiden.
Yeah.
I will defeat you, Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
No, Raiden, you can never defeat me.
That's true immersion.
This is
Yeah.
phase 2 of my plan to merge the realms. I'll stop you.
Yeah.
5 minutes of this.
They should just have all of the dialogue be delivered by text-to-speech software.
Like Stephen Hawking.
Yes, exactly.
Or like the tracheotomy buzzers, I think, would also be effective.
Uh-huh.
Like Ned on
Yeah.
South Park. Like, I will defeat you, Shao Kahn.
That would be awesome. I guess a good example. So Star Wars MMO that came out, Knights Old Republic, they had the most spoken dialogue in any piece of media ever, and people like the WoW group were like, "Oh my gosh, they always talk." It's like you can skip it, but it still gave people something to complain about. It's like you just hit accept mission. You don't have to listen to them talk, and people will be like, "Oh my gosh, everyone talks." I'm like, "How is this bad
know.
that everyone talks?" Like,
I have encountered that as an issue in that I can read
yeah,
and I can read. Now I'm going to brag to you guys. I can read faster than the characters talk.
what?
Yeah.
No.
So if I want to, sometimes if, I could just go accept the mission, but I want to see what it's about.
You can also put the volume down if you want. Like,
Yeah, but I want to be
I
able
don't think-
to
but I-
skip a paragraph without skipping the entire discussion
right.
so that I can read it, skip.
I don't know. I don't think that's a negative. Like, I would you rather just no one have any talkies anymore? Like, just everything's printed text, or like I like Skyrim. Like, you would rather just be like text pops up and you're good,
So Skyrim lets you skip line by line of dialogue.
right?
So that you can read it, skip it, and the noise is annoying, but because it sounds like you just can't choose a radio station.
Yeah, he's like stuttering and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what line by line skipping is a-okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Although in Mortal Kombat, I bet you're safe skipping the entire cinematic because
it doesn't matter.
yeah, like I want to go commit
I don't
acts
know.
of violence.
I love it. I think it's like I get a 2-hour movie out of the whole thing.
Oh,
I like it.
man.
Like
Mhm.
it's just not just a fighting game.
I'm
fine
gonna
with it.
watch that 2-hour movie after this, and then we can review it.
Yeah, totally. Let's do it.
Yeah.
My next recommendation: 2 hours of Mortal Kombat.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh. So I did notice that it looks like the old generation consoles are going to get a different release date than PS3 and Xbox One, or PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh, I didn't see that. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
To make the holdouts wait. Do you think that this
No.
is going to move hard? I don't see
I
Mortal
wouldn't
Kombat
say that
moving
they
hardware.
make the holdouts wait. I think it's that not all of the different platforms will be completed at the same time, and so that being said, they might prioritize the current generation, and instead of waiting on that on the older ones, they would just release the new ones first.
Nintendo did that with Smash Brothers. They put a 3DS version out first, just to push it on. So people were buying 3DSs for Smash Brothers,
See, and I
And
see
then-
that Smash Brothers is excellent.
and then they released it for the Wii U, so they can get people to buy the Wii U for Smash Brothers. It's just a way. I think it is a way to push. I wouldn't be surprised if like PlayStation, Microsoft were like, "Hey, can you
Yeah,
split?"
it's also a good tactic. I mean, from a business perspective. It's
Yeah.
like,
I don't
hey,
hate on it. I think that's
Yeah.
perfectly acceptable.
Make sure you buy the console before we drop the price come Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be coming soon, huh? Yeah. Like they should be getting about that $50 chunk off.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Xbox did it already. I think they're selling
No,
for
they-
$350 now.
They got rid of the Connect, is what they did.
Yeah, and then they lowered the price by. I think Xbox One with
Yeah.
2 games or 3 is $350
Yeah,
now.
because they're getting doubled over by PlayStation 4. Like
Wow.
yeah.
You can hear your PS4 fanboy.
No, when I
response in
say
that.
doubled over, I mean twice as many PS4s
Yeah.
have sold. So
You mean like bent over?
The
Yeah.
important
Right.
thing to remember, though, is that even though Microsoft is getting outsold by PlayStation on this, they're still moving units faster than they did with the Xbox 360.
right. But
So when I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't
Yeah.
have a new
I
console.
understand.
Like-
I have both consoles, so I also don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. Like,
I don't know. I like it's not that the Xbox is bad, is that Microsoft treated its customers like they were idiots, and I don't like it. Like they continue to treat their customers like they're stupid. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can't sell it without the Connect. It won't work. It won't function. It's like, oh, now this is a Connect free version. It's like, oh, I guess we kind of lied about that last thing, or like,
Mhm.
oh, it's always online, so you have to, yeah, like they've continued to treat their customers like idiots, and I mean, PlayStation went through that phase too, so maybe they'll learn from it.
I think that what happened was they realized that everyone uses their operating system on their computers, and they can just put out a security patch that it gives them access to your computer's camera and microphones, and then they didn't really need
They
the
don't
Connect
really need
after
the
all.
Connect, right? Yeah.
that's a very good point, man.
Right. I don't know. I don't got much more for this right now, but we will be doing a playthrough. Actually, Alex will be playing through the storyline. Maybe
Storyline.
you can play whatever you want.
Sure. I mean, I'd rather just dominate and compete. Like I said, the prospects I see for this game, I want to be, because like the original Mortal Kombat came out when we were around 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat 2 was when I was just starting to play video games. And then I played the hell out of Mortal Kombat 3, like to an embarrassing extent.
Mortal Kombat 3 didn't have the moves inside the book, so I like hated it.
You just didn't remember that there are about 6 or 7
I mean,
fighting game
yeah,
moves.
I
and
get that, but it just was like I was like, oh man, it's not in the book. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
Why
Mhm.
take 15 seconds to learn each character when
Yeah, I skipped over it.
got it?
Every time I went to Toys R Us, they were out of the little pamphlets that had the key combinations for the Mortal Kombat combos.
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
the code books are like, you could buy them in the magazine section at the grocery store. A Mortal Kombat 3 everything book. All the
Yeah.
combos, all the fatalities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first Mortal Kombat, and looking back at the time, it seemed as though they were all special moves. Maybe I was just an idiot gamer. I still am, but it seemed like they were all special moves, which you don't really need to know. But now it's like that's just the way the game is played,
Yeah.
and so why wouldn't they have included that in the box?
You're right. That is weird. Like, where was everyone supposed to figure these out when there was
Yeah.
no internet?
You just try key combinations until you figure out how to do the
Yeah, it's just another
Cycle kick.
wall to get through unnecessarily.
Well, and then you got arcade machines, right? Like this game's thing is fatalities. The
Yeah.
arcade is where they're releasing it, but they don't tell you how to do the damn
Yeah,
fatality.
yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, do they just let you experiment down, back, forward, block? Like,
More
what?
quarters. Gotta get those quarters in there.
Yeah, I guess,
Mhm.
man. Now, though, with consoles as they are and online gaming as it is, and the fact that FPS and MMO and third-person shooters and real-time strategy, we have a lot more, far more developed, like more mature genres of games. The target audience to Mortal Kombat is going away. Especially, I think that Smash Brothers has kind of taken over for the fighting game audience in
Sure.
that you can play it in front of your children, and
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's getting to the point where I don't know if an 8-year-old should play it.
Well, I've mentioned it before. I still feel like every game that comes out is made for people our age. Like this Mortal Kombat is for 30 to 40-years-olds.
Life is Strange, maybe.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned
Yeah.
it. But no, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like that's why I was having such a weird time with Life is Strange, is because it's like this isn't for me. Every game else is for me. Why is this game for me? So I think that we're still like we were the target audience when we were 10 for Mortal Kombat, and we're still the target audience 20 years later for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I wonder.
And that's why it's so frustrating when a movie like Star Wars doesn't make that jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
They continue to target the 8-year-olds.
Yeah, where they don't realize kids today could care less about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do one rated R Star Wars?
No.
Just one off?
Never.
Not with Disney.
Yeah, it won't make enough money.
Who knows? Maybe Disney will release Punisher, and the Punisher will just be grisly and wildly successful, and before you know it, the Marvel universe just takes a
Or they
dark
just
turn.
really want to put it. Well, Marvel and Disney still get into fights about things like Big Hero 6. Like, Marvel disconnected itself from Big Hero 6 because what Disney was doing with it wasn't what they wanted to do for their comic book. So, like, they're still, while they're owned by Disney, they still fight over things. Which is
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, still groups of people, turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I guess they would basically say you can't call it Punisher. Like, they'd fight over it at some point, or like he's like shooting like unicorns at people instead of bullets. Like rainbow unicorns are coming out and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, Mortal Kombat.
I do like. Who do you think is so when you know, in the glory days of Mortal Kombat, when we played it, kids would go to each other's house to play games together. Like, your friends would come over
Yeah.
and play a game with you. And now that kids are playing Call of Duty with each other, like, who do you think is actually going to play this as Mortal Kombat's meant to be played?
We are. It's going to be our, like, I'm going to go to your house and you're going to
You're right.
talk. Like, it's our generation. We can drive now.
Yeah,
so.
but we're going to do this. I don't know that we would be on the couch jamming out to Mortal Kombat if we weren't doing it for what we're doing. And I'm wondering, like,
Well, if we were single, more likely, right?
maybe.
Mhm.
I see, like, do high school kids even go hang out with each other anymore? I don't know.
No, they just,
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Life is Strange. They just kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, they get like, you know, the ability to reverse time and they don't even post it on their Facebook anymore. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
So it's like Instagram that's what the kids play with now, right? Is
Yeah.
Instagram. And
Yeah, you can't take a selfie of controlling time. So
Yeah.
what use is that? Yeah, I don't know. They don't.
so like college dorms and military barracks is where this is going to be.
Yeah, it's
Like
most
active duty
prevalent.
military and college students.
yeah, which is good. I mean, and every person that buys it for nostalgia, like I'll give it my $60 if I only play it for 5 minutes. So
Yeah, I think I will too. I'll probably buy it for Xbox 360 just to say, hey, keep making Mortal Kombat. Like, I'm not going to play it, but just keep making
yeah,
it.
please do. Yeah. Oh, another thing I want to bring up is so Mortal Kombat, The Witcher 3, and Arkham Knight are all coming out, and they're all Warner Brother Interactive Entertainment. Would you see WBIE as like, when I mention that, does it sound like it's Ubisoft or EA? You know what I mean? Like, does it sound like, are you like, oh, one of those big game companies?
No.
Yeah, I think AOL Time Warner. I think
Right.
like,
I know. That's what.
I think it's an arm of
Yeah.
a giant media corporation.
Yeah. Like, we're trying
It's
to.
like Microsoft making an Xbox, right? Like,
Right.
now do you think of Microsoft as this game company? No.
I didn't until like because I'm just trying to get like the permissions to show video, and like I'm like I pick the game we're going to play, and then I see who makes it, and then like 3 in a row are Warner Brother Interactive Entertainment. I thought that was like, oh, they're
I mean,
slowly,
they ain't new to this.
yeah,
They ain't new to this.
no, that's
They've
true.
been had games.
yeah. So I thought that was interesting that like the next 3, like arguably the next 3 big titles, Mortal Kombat, Witcher 3, and Arkham Knight are all WBIE.
I see Arkham Knight being the most successful because Batman and
Oh,
because
yeah.
and because
It's the last of the trilogy too.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a trilogy. It also just seems like that is your broad appeal console release. The Witcher has a very PC feel to it. Mortal Kombat appeals to people who were nerds in the 90s. And that's us.
Yeah, I mean the Batman's definitely going to be the best of the 3, or not the best, the most.
I bet it'll be the best too, truthfully. Like,
I don't know, Mortal
I-
Kombat. They rarely do anything wrong. So
you're right, but I don't other than like I said, there are very specific groups who are going to be able to
Right.
enjoy Mortal Kombat, unless there are like just out there across the amber waves of grain are people still hanging out together playing video games. But that just seems so weird to me now.
I can't imagine that actually existing.
No, not with the internet, and not with gigabit internet becoming a thing. So it's
Well-
so sad though.
Well,
God.
well, on Xbox you can Skype each other while playing the game, so you can like lock eyes while you
Ah.
play. So there you go.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Back in my day, we used to go to each other's house and play video
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
PC and all, just carry
Yeah.
it over.
Yeah,
Funyuns and Mountain Dew, trash talk. That's how it's done.
that'll be our version of go play outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back
Yeah,
in my
talking to your
day,
kids.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, that is true. It makes me sad, but I look forward to it.